The open water. It's the ultimate escape, right? The promise of adventure, freedom, and crisp, clean air far from the city smog. It's the picture we've all been sold. A vast expanse of blue where every breath is supposed to feel pure and life-giving. But that promise of clean air? It can be a dangerous lie if you're not careful. Think that just since you're not near a megalopolis or a volcano eruption, you're in the clear? Better think again. You think that you've left the pollution behind, but standing on the deck of your sailboat, out in the middle of nowhere on the water, you could be breathing air more toxic than you can imagine. And the worst part of it is, you'll never even see it. The very poison you're trying to escape is riding in the winds, hiding in plain sight right over the water. So how is that even possible? How can the air, even in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from a major city, be anything but pristine? And the answer is as simple as it is shocking. Hi, this is Captain Tom again. I am a United States Coast Guard MMC, that's a Master Mariner, and I have sailed many of the world's oceans, been a yacht fleet charter master, bareboat charter certifier, sailing instructor, and racing boat owner for several decades. I have this channel to help those along who have the same dreams with bits of wisdom I've picked up over the years, often the hard way. And also I have tons of entertaining point of view video that you can perhaps relate to, without any AI. Imagine that these days. So if you like this content, please click on the like, subscribe, and notify. It helps me to keep this going. Thanks. So let's get into it. The inconvenient truth is that the pollution we're talking about is traveling with you, sometimes for thousands of miles. Massive plumes of smoke from continent-spanning wildfires, like those in Canada or Siberia, can be injected high into the atmosphere and travel clear across the ocean. In recent years especially, smoke from Canadian wildfires has been tracked spreading across the entire Atlantic, creating hazy skies over Europe. Then there are colossal dust storms, where millions of tons of desert sand are swept 5,000 miles across the sea, like the Saharan dust clouds that regularly blanket the Caribbean. Add to that erupting volcanoes spewing ash and toxic gases, and the industrial pollution from entire continents that drifts out over the water. Keep in mind that the atmosphere that carries these pollutants is a relatively thin layer that surrounds the Earth. Its thickness has been compared to the thickness of the skin of an apple. And that's not much room for all of that crud to vertically dissipate. Help! Unfortunately, we need to think of the sky as a global highway for pollutants. Intense wildfires can generate PM 2.5 concentrations that are more than 6 times the World Health Organization's recommended 24-hour limit, pushing air quality into the very unhealthy range for entire regions. One study during a California wildfire measured PM 2.5, and that's the really bad stuff, we'll talk about it later, at levels at over 100 micrograms per cubic meter compared to a normal of just 12.7 micrograms per cubic meter. And this toxic soup isn't just theory. In June of 2025, a rare combination of Canadian wildfire, yes, Canadian, smoke, and Saharan dust drifted over southern France, creating a multi-source pollution episode that choked the skies and sent air quality index soaring. You are breathing this, all while thinking you're getting a healthy dose of sea air. So what does breathing this stuff actually do to your body? This isn't just about a little haze you can ignore. This is a deep biological assault. The main culprits are invisible. First, There's particulate matter, PM, like we mentioned earlier, specifically the ultrafine particles known as PM 2.5. These are microscopic specks of soot, ash, and minerals, 1,000 times smaller than a human hair. Then you have nitrogen oxides and sulfur oxides, gases from fires and volcanoes that absolutely wreak havoc on your lungs. These ultrafine particles are so tiny that your body's natural defenses, the hairs and mucus in your nose and throat, are completely useless against them. They go straight down into your lungs, lodging in the delicate sacs where your body gets oxygen. But they don't stop there. They're small enough to pass directly into your bloodstream, circulating through your entire body like a poison delivery system. Don't think that just breathing through your nose is going to catch this stuff. It won't. Face it, you're getting smoked like a piece of ham. In the short term, this can cause headaches, dizziness, and irritated, watery eyes, nose, and throat. For anyone with asthma, it can trigger a severe attack. But it's the long-term consequences that are truly terrifying. This isn't a risk that just goes away when you get back into the clean air. It's cumulative. Globally, it's estimated that wildfire smoke alone contributes to over 330,000 premature deaths every single year. Think about a sailor crossing the Atlantic during the summer. They might brush off a persistent cough as nothing. The shortness of breath gets chalked up to just getting older. They think that they're living a healthy, active life at sea, never realizing that their environment is silently killing them with every breath. You might think, okay, I'll just go inside the cabin. But you'd be wrong. The threat follows you indoors, and in some ways it even gets worse. And think that rain will somehow clear the smoke? Wrong again. A sailboat, or any vessel at sea, is an enclosed environment. Unless you have a specialized air filtration system, the air you breathe below deck is the same polluted air from the outside. Studies have shown that during severe smoke events, indoor PM 2.5 levels, and you know what that is now, can reach up to 70% of the outdoor concentrations, as toxic particles seep into every door, window, and vent. So you're just trading the raw, hazy air from outside for a concentrated, trapped version of the same pollutants inside. And the symptoms are devious: headache, dizziness, nausea, and are almost always mistaken for seasickness. As it builds up, especially for those of us with pre-existing respiratory issues, sometimes COVID initiated, well, you can imagine where that can go. For years, we've operated under the convenient veil of out of sight, out of mind. The open water feels like one place on the earth that should be immune to human impact, but the reality is that the atmosphere connects us all, and there's no real true escape. Ignorance is not bliss. There isn't a single industry to blame, really. It's just a global blind spot. So we see a hazy sunset over the water and we call it beautiful, not realizing we're looking at a plume of pollution that has traveled thousands of miles. These events are becoming more frequent and intense. Climate change has been shown to more than double the likelihood of extreme fire weather conditions that create these continent-spanning smoke clouds. We track hurricanes and storms with incredible supercomputer accuracy, issuing warnings days in advance. Yet we often ignore many severe air pollution events that may not be an immediate danger, but are certainly a long-term health one. So what can you really do? It can feel hopeless fighting a global phenomenon, but you're not powerless. Knowledge is the first weapon. Before you even set sail, you can check satellite imagery and air quality forecasts from services that track aerosol and smoke plumes. Take a look at this one from AccuWeather.com. Pay close attention to the AQI, or Air Quality Index, for your area. The AQI index is an overall number from 0 to 500 that is assigned to the quality of the air at any particular place and point in time. For me personally, when the AQI is over about 120, I start to smell whatever is the major pollutant, such as wildfire smoke. An AQI of 200 or above is considered very unhealthy and has been loosely compared with smoking one cigarette every 2 hours. An AQI of 250 is probably going to get newspaper headlines. In the USA at least, we're seeing this more and more every summer. And I'm seeing yacht racing sailing instructions start to indicate that races will be postponed if the AQI is over 200. I think this is a smart move. If you can see and particularly smell smoke, or the sky has a strange orange glow to it, you are breathing polluted air, regardless of where you are. If you sail into a plume, stay inside as much as possible, seal up the cabin, and if you have one, run a high-quality HEPA air purifier. Now, I know that's a lot to ask on an ocean-going sailboat, when not at the dock. But the other good news, while not necessarily the epitome of comfort, is that N or KN95 mask will catch about 95% of this stuff. Maybe bring one along and throw it on if you're stuck offshore and smell the smoke? Fortunately, many of the plumes are very ethereal and can dissipate within a day or so. Your AQI forecast can usually give you the severity and shape and size of the plume real time on the web. Sometimes it just takes a wind direction change to significantly clear it. Postponing a voyage or day sailing or race, while certainly frustrating, can yield health dividends in the long run. So like so many other things, it's a balance of risks. If this news shocked you, then share it. Your friends and family, or anyone who dreams of vacation at sea or who works on the water, deserves to know the truth. Public awareness is one thing that will force us to look and finally see what's been hiding in plain sight. So we look to the sea as a symbol of nature's purity and an escape from the mess we've unfortunately made on land. But we've allowed that mess to follow us, carried on the winds to poison our last refuge. It's a time to shatter the illusion that the open ocean is a free pass to clean air. And I hope that you have some new awareness that out on the water, the biggest danger might not be the next storm on the horizon. It might just be the very air you're breathing. But hopefully after watching this, you can feel a little more informed and empowered to sharpen your awareness and protect yourself. In the meantime, thanks for watching and hope to see you next time. You know what to click to help that out.